Straight ahead on CCX News, the grand opening Golden Valley has waited more than a year for. Plus, a Brooklyn Center lawmaker discusses new guidelines rolled out today for healthcare providers when prescribing prescription painkillers. But first, why some pawn shop workers can count their blessings. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. 2 Osseo businesses are back up and running after one very bad crash.
Our reporter Sonia Goins shows us what happened.
Except for the plywood on the windows and doors, you might not know about the unfortunate incident that occurred here last Sunday.
I got the call saying that someone drove a truck into the shop.
Manager Darren Hasimovich couldn't believe what he was hearing. This is a big Ford pickup that plowed into the shop.
When he hit, he came in, missed this side, which was nice. I mean, a couple little things got hit and taken down.
Still, the damage was significant.
Pushed all the DVD racks, slammed into that counter there, pushed that at the angle where like this here came into here, busted out the wall here.
Luckily, no one was in the shop at the time of the accident. Most of the damage happened right where the clerks stand.
It happened so fast, there's no way we would have been able to get out of the way. And we would have been severely hurt.
Twin Cities Pawn wasn't the only business impacted by the impact. Avis Car Rental also received some damage. One rental car was totaled and another damaged.
I heard a couple people screaming and, just kind of running away.
Osseo police say the elderly driver of the truck hit the accelerator instead of the brakes.
This was just a mistaken pedal issue, so there was no alcohol, no drugs, no arrest made. It was truly an accident.
He backed and hit it.
Meanwhile, Twin Cities Pawn Shop says they're just glad everyone is okay.
Everything here, materialistic stuff, can be rebought, and then you got insurance for that stuff. So.
In Osseo, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
According to Osseo police, there will be no charges against the driver. The pawn shop says the driver did come back and apologize after the accident.
A North Memorial ambulance worker from Plymouth is sentenced after admitting to stealing prescription narcotics while on the job. 37-year-old Robert Lean pleaded guilty to 8 counts of theft of controlled substances while working as a paramedic. Brooklyn Center police investigated the crime. According to court documents, Lean took Dilaudid, a prescription pain reliever, from a pouch and replaced it with a saline solution. Lean also admitted to stealing fentanyl, the powerful type of opioid that killed Prince. The complaint says Lean used the drugs for himself. Lean was sentenced to 180 days in the county workhouse and 5 years probation. If he successfully completes the terms of his probation, he will avoid prison time. Last year, 376 people died from opioid overdoses in Minnesota, and that's a 12% increase from 2015.
Today, state lawmakers and healthcare professionals announced new guidelines designed to cut the risk of opioid addiction. Delane Cleveland joins us now with details. Delane?
Mike and Alex, the new guidelines were developed by a group of healthcare providers, law enforcement, and pharmacists, among others. The guidelines will help medical professionals decide when to prescribe powerful painkillers, how much to prescribe, and how to monitor their use.
Every time I hear that 2 people in Minnesota overdose every single day, I think of those families going through the trauma that my family went through. And after 10 years, it's still there. And so we really need to step up and make sure that families don't have to go through this.
State Senator Chris Eden of Brooklyn Center lost her daughter to an overdose 10 years ago. She was joined by other members of the work group today in Minneapolis for the announcement. The recommended guidelines include prescribing the lowest effective dose and duration of opioids when used for acute pain.
This problem didn't happen in many other countries. In fact, it only happened in America. What was it about our healthcare system that was vulnerable to this? And do we use this as an opportunity to make a change? Because these raises very serious questions about who is really the healthcare industry serving? Is it serving the patient? Or is it serving, well, itself?
Minnesota health officials are encouraging all providers statewide to adopt the new guidelines. Any medical providers who continue to prescribe opioids beyond the scope of the guidelines could ultimately have their ability to serve Medicaid patients revoked. Mike?
All right, Blaine, thank you. Well, this is a big weekend for Golden Valley. A brand new community center opens up. Construction began more than a year ago on the new $18 million Brookview Community Center. The city found it unfeasible to continue investing in the old facility that dated back to the 1920s. The new center opens to the public on Saturday. It features banquet facilities, an indoor playground, a sports bar and restaurant, as well as operations for the golf course.
Local soldiers serving thousands of miles away at Christmas will get a gift from home thanks to the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon group in Maple Grove. They collect non-perishable items all year and then pull everything together for a packing day. Volunteers worked at Weaver Lake Elementary to package dozens of boxes of goods that will be sent to soldiers around the globe. It's an effort that's grown since it started 3 years ago.
We started up basically inside a living room. Then we've grown, we've sent out maybe 25, 30 boxes. Then we went up to about 75 boxes. Now we're at 175 boxes. A lot of that comes from being able to get the funding to send the boxes. It costs about $18 a box to send.
The Osseo Maple Grove American Legion donates money for the shipping. The holiday spirit of giving was in full effect today in Golden Valley.
Employees at Allianz Life Insurance formed a human chain and loaded boxes filled with donated food and clothing onto a truck for delivery to local nonprofits. The employees collected more than 20,000 pounds of food, more than 15,000 pounds of clothing, and more than $90,000 in cash to help families in need.
It's very humbling to know that here in our own community there are people much less fortunate. They don't have toys to look forward to on Christmas morning. They don't have enough food on the shelf. So knowing that we're making such an important difference in the lives of so many thousands of people, it's very humbling.
Donations will go to Second Harvest Heartland, Toys for Tots, Prism, People Serving People, and ARC Greater Twin Cities.
Still ahead, how a local business group is trying to bring in outside voices to help better the community.
Plus, Wayzata and Maple Grove battle in a top 10 matchup in girls basketball. That's later in sports.
But first, a warm December weekend with temperatures in the 50s. We'll be right back.
The Twin West Chamber of Commerce has long considered itself a voice for businesses in the West Metro.
And now under new leadership, the Business Advocate is mapping a course for the future, and it's one that aims to bring in some new voices. On the campus of General Mills, the Twin West Chamber of Commerce charted a new course, starting with an invitation to change.
Change happens outside our comfort zone, and when that change happens, there's nothing better.
New Twin West President Shannon Full is steering the ship toward collaboration and partnerships between business and education, city government, nonprofits, and faith groups for the better of the whole community.
We want a vibrant region. We want healthy communities. We want a great education system. We want workforce that wants to stay here, and we want businesses that are successful.
Full saw the power of partnerships firsthand in 2008 when she arrived for a new chamber job in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, days after the city's worst flood. The aftermath brought unlikely groups to the table with one shared purpose.
We sat with municipality leaders, sat with faith-based leaders, nonprofit leaders, all with one common goal: to rebuild this community better than it was before.
Closer to home, Full says there's already a shared community goal for growth and prosperity, so why not take it on together? It's a plan local leaders say inspires possibilities.
From an educator's standpoint, we're talking the same thing right now about how we, from early childhood through adulthood, get involved with our business partners to make education become what we know it could become.
Brooklyn Park has got a really thriving business community, business climate, and Twin West and our other chambers are great partners with us to continue.
Acknowledging the challenges,
because this work is not easy.
The Twin West Chamber of Commerce is inviting new groups to the table, leading a force for change in business and beyond. And still ahead, video may have killed the radio star, but see how Cooper High School is bringing that radio star back to life.
But first, we catch up with CCX fishing pro Terry Tuma at this weekend's ice fishing show. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. Thursday night, the current owners of the St. Paul Ice Fishing and Winter Sports Show recognized Terry Tuma on the 25th anniversary of the event that Terry co-founded and helped grow into the largest ice fishing show in the country. Terry's been a regular outdoors contributor to us for over 2 decades now, and earlier today I talked to him about this year's show.
They've got over 200 exhibitors, so that'll give an indication of what is going to be displayed here. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of fish outs, like we're in the clam booth. The K-drills really highlighted the show. All the manufacturers pretty much are here. There's a lot of new exhibitors here too. So
you have a seminar here today and another one tomorrow. Outside of when is it going to be safe to go out on the ice, what's the number one question you get at seminars, especially early in the season for ice fishing?
Well, generally speaking, ice safety is a factor. The thickness of the ice. Fishing line is probably one of the most questioned areas. The different type of baits that we use. And yes, I do have a seminar today at noon, and then tomorrow at 12 o'clock will be the walleye seminar. That'll be well attended, I'm sure of that. And, I think, rod sensitivity, the rod manufacturers, the type of rods to purchase, these are all becoming very prevalent.
We had a different weather pattern there in November with early, it looked like we were going to have winter real early, and then the last half of the month and early here in December, some nice days, very mild weather. What does that mean for fishing early on?
I think it's going to be very, very good, John. One, there's a couple reasons. One is that we've got a lot of good clear water, which is going to promote a lot of weed growth, and therefore then you're going to have a lot of oxygen, a lot of food sources, a lot of great fish locations. And the other, too, is that so many people, because of that early winter scare, put their boats away. There has not been very much fishing pressure. So a lot of pluses that are going to really help us, not only in first ice, but I think throughout the whole winter.
The ice fishing show runs until 8 p.m. Friday, from 8 to 7 Saturday, and from 9 to 4 Sunday at the St. Paul River Center. The season is underway for most local high school girls basketball teams. Maple Grove hosted Wayzata Thursday in a matchup of Class 4A top 10 ranked teams, and Wayzata out to a strong start. Lydia Hay knocks the shot down to give the Trojans a 10-3 lead. And then Annika Stewart with a three-pointer from the wing, and the Trojans are up 13-8. Maple Grove closes the half strong. Katrina Tice drives baseline and scores. The Crimson take a 29-27 lead into halftime. And Tice continues her strong night early in the second half, scoring 2 more of her 21 points. The Crimson lead by 5. But the Trojans rally. Mimi Schrader misses the pull-up jumper, but Callie Tyson, scoreless in the first half, scores on the putback and draws a foul. The junior had 19 second half points. Nice transition basket here from Maple Grove. Autumn Malinar with 2 of her 19. Wayzata, though, will close the game on a 9-3 run. Tyson scores 2 more. Wayzata's now 3-0. They win 59-53. They'll be one of several local teams playing Saturday at the Breakdown Sports Tip-Off Classic in Minnetonka. Now to boys hockey, where the Osseo Orioles played their season opener Thursday night. The Orioles hosting Rogers at Osseo's Dick Raw Arena. Number 13 for Rogers, Jake Jensen, delivers a hit to free the puck, then sends it on net. The puck squirts away. Jensen knocks it in. Orioles get on the board just 1:26 into the game. Goalie Ben Kleinshay redeems himself here. Nice stop there on the Trey Fredrickson breakaway. In the second period, the Royals on a power play. Mitchell Becker to Jensen, who gets a shot on net. Justin Grudem bangs the rebound in, and Rogers takes a 2-0 lead. That's the score after 2. They get one more in the third. Fredrickson's shot is saved. Matthew Schaefer buries the rebound. The Royals go on to blank Osseo 3-0. In a Northwest Suburban Conference crossover game, Maple Grove playing host to Totino Grace. The Eagles with a new head coach, Brian Murphy. Maple Grove leads at 1-0. They add to it here. Connor Kelly fires it, and Matthew Jaglow scores on the rebound to make it 2-0. Later in the first, Ryan Brandt along the blue line spots Tyler Kostelecki, sets him up for the shot and goal, and it's 3-0 Crimson. The only goal, the second, goes to Maple Grove. Jaglow cutting across the slot, shoots just as he's tripped up to score a pretty goal, and the Crimson lead 4-0. Eagles get on the board in the third period. Jake Wassick fires from in close, but a tie off the glass. Brandon Lee there to knock it in off the carom to make it a 4-1 game. But it's Maple Grove's night on a power play. Good puck movement, and Trevor Kukkonen buries the shot. Jago scores 3 goals, Kukkonen 2. Maple Grove rolls to a 6-1 win. That's all for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Up next, nostalgia that might make you smile.
The Cooper High School production that revisits the golden age of radio when we come back.
And finally, imagining a world without smartphones and television.
In today's weekend showcase, Neil Persley visits Cooper High School, which takes us back to the golden age of radio.
At magazines, we go on the air in less than 30 minutes, and everyone is fooling around.
WCHS Radio is the setting for Cooper High School's latest original play, On the Air in 1940.
It's really just a throwback to the 1940s when radio was the #1 medium of entertainment, and we're just doing a bunch of different skits and commercials and jingles that kind of take you back to that time period.
It was an interesting assignment for kids who can't imagine their world without television, let alone cell phones.
Most of us, we were brought up with technology like this, so speaking like back then we had to call an operator and they would connect us to someone else, and it was a long process, and I don't know how it would be back then.
Oh dear, there's somebody at the door.
The students learned a lot about radio theater and produced their own sound effects live during the play.
I think it was really interesting for us to see how much work went into radio, even when there wasn't any visual aspects to it. I thought it was really cool to see how much they had to do with special effect or sound effects and voice acting and just quick transitions, things like that.
You fumble clumsily with the toast. You spill the jelly and put too much on. The coffee sloshes as you fill his cup. We got music, we have skits, we have a dance number, we have kind of a montage of what life is like at a radio station outside of the skits. We have something for everyone.
Indeed they do, and I give On the Air in 1940 a rating of WC for wonderfully creative. For a weekend showcase from Cooper High School, Neil Persley, CCX News.
The shows are this weekend, Friday and Saturday night at the Cooper High School Theater. It looks like a lot of fun.
Looks like a fun show.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here on Monday, starting at 4 o'clock. Have a great weekend.